Welcome, everyone. This is the Wednesday edition, January 19th, of the NBA Triple Double Show, powered by the Predictive Playbook and presented to you by SportsMemo TV. As always, I'm your host, John Ryan, and as always, I'm joined by my good friend and professional sports bettor, Ronald Cabang. And we're going to try to do a lot better than we did the last show. We went 0-4, and you know what? We're not afraid to admit that that was a bad day, and that's exactly what it was. It was a single bad day. And the good news is that we went 0-4, yet we are still hitting 66.1% against the number over the last 20 shows. So I think that speaks volumes to how we're trying to really show you how a professional bettor goes. There's going to be days where I like to use the analogy, Ronald, where we're the hydrant and not the dog. And we've been the dog a lot of times in that scenario, and we just happen to be the hydrant one of the few times on Friday. Or Monday, Monday, the last show. So welcome to the show, Ronald. Let's get right at it here. We're going to take a look at three games here that we like quite a bit. And we're going to start with the Mavericks. I'm sorry. I'll edit that out. All right. Where's my time? So this happened at a minute 30, minute 20. All right. 3. Our first game, Ronald, is going to be the Portland Trailblazers, who are 10th in the Western Conference, going on the road to play the Miami Heat, who are 2nd in the Eastern Conference. Not a surprise there with the Heat playing as well as they are. The Heat are 28-16. They're also 8 games over 500 at 26-18 against the spread. The over-under is 26-18 as well. They're 14-5 at home. The Trailblazers come into this matchup 18-25 on the season, 17-25-1 against the number, 20-22 with one push. Over-under, they're only 4-14 on the road, and they're 5-14 as an underdog. The line for this game sees the Heat installed as a 9.5-point home favorite with a total of 212.5 points. Take it away, Ronald, and tell us where the best bet is in this matchup.
Yeah, the Heat, they're slowly getting healthier. Bam is back, and that's a big boost to their defense. But they'll be without Kyle Lowry today. And in the small 5-game sample size, without him, the Heat play with a slower pace, a less efficient offense, and a more efficient defense. They're 7-2 to the under as home favorites of 6 or more points this season as well, and they're allowing 99 points per game in those games, while scoring an average of 104.5 points per game. Their defense shows up against teams that they should beat pretty easily. That's kind of what that trend is telling me there. This will be the Blazers' 4th straight game on the road, but the 3rd straight game on the East Coast. They've only had one other East Coast trip earlier this season. It was a 3-game road trip where they went over in the first game and the next 2 went under. I feel like travel fatigue started to set in for them after that first game. And I think this trip will kind of go the same way. They went over in the first game against the Wizards, went way under on Monday against the Magic, and I believe they're going to go under again today. I know McCollum is back, but I expect a little rust after a long layoff. Sorry about that.
It's all right.
And the Blazers are 6-3 to the under in road games when the total is less than 220 points. They're averaging just over 102 points per game, while allowing under 111 points per game in that situation. I think this game goes under tonight.
And I'm with you on it. I see no other way to play this game. I don't like the side because it's a dangerous team with Portland, despite all the absent All-Stars from their roster due to injuries and other ailments, but I do like the under here. I think you're absolutely spot on with this one. Let's move on to the game that I'm looking at here. Is the Orlando Magic are traveling to the city of brotherly love to play at the Wells Fargo Center at 7 o'clock, and that means the Philadelphia 76ers are the host. They've kind of gotten it together of late. They were at 18-18 at one point and in danger of drifting below 500. But they are now 6th in the Eastern Conference at 25-18. The market has priced them very well this season, 21-21 with one push. The over-under is 16-25 with 2 pushes at home. They're an unbelievable 9-9 on the season. A lot of that has to do with COVID. It doesn't really reflect at all the talent of this team. And as a favorite, they are 16-8. So they have actually switched it around from last season where they had the number one home record in the Eastern Conference and really couldn't get it together on the road. And now they're learning to play well on the road and learning how to win. And I do continue to believe that the Sixers will be a dangerous team once we get to the playoff rounds. In this game, Orlando is 8-37. They have 8 wins. It's hard to put money behind them. My lean, Ronald, would be to take the double digits. I think 12 or 13 might be a little bit much for this matchup, even though Orlando has really nothing going for them. They're 6-21 on the road. They're 8-37 straight up as an underdog. And you would think that the Sixers would just blow these guys off the court. What I do like is the over. And points per game, Philly is averaging 107.2 and Orlando 101.6. So in this matchup where the line for the total is only 213.5 points, I could definitely see the Sixers scoring more than 120 in this game. I would like a pizza money bet on the team total, playing over the total in the Philadelphia team total. Points allowed, Orlando is allowing 110.5, and that's why I do think it is very likely that Philly will score more than 120 in this matchup. Therefore, if they score 120 and Orlando covers the spread, that means they got to be scoring 108 or more. That puts us at 228 with a line at 213. So I like the over quite a bit, and it is supported by a pretty good betting angle as well, which is you're going to play over with home teams. It has a total of 210 or more points off an upset loss as a road favorite. That is Philadelphia. They have a winning record on the season, and they're playing a losing record team. That's all there is to it with that set of parameters. The over the last 5 seasons has gone 60-30 for 67% winning bets. I'm on the over. Let's move on to our third and final game. This is a very intriguing matchup. Toronto Raptors, who are 21-20, finally got over 500. They are 22-19 against the number, 23-18 over under. They are 9-9 on the road and 9-14 as an underdog. Their host for this game is the Dallas Mavericks, who I've had a hard time figuring out like who they're going to be on any given day. And you've done great with identifying who they are, Ronald. That's for sure. A lot better than I have. I don't have a feel for them to save my life. They are 30-13 to the under for the season. 13-8 at home. Favorite, they're 19-6 straight up. This line is -4 as Dallas a home favorite. The total's 207 points, which seems low, but I got a funny feeling the under is probably where you're taking us with this matchup.
Yeah, I am looking at the under in this game. Like you said, the Mavs are a strong under team this season, especially at home. They're 16-5 to the under at the American Airlines Center this season, and 9-1 to the under if it's at least their second home game in a row. They've also gone under in 6 straight home games against Eastern Conference teams. Their current form also backs the under here. In the last 10 games, they're number 1 in defensive rating and playing with the 5th slowest pace. In the same time frame, the same 10-game time frame, the Raptors are 10th in defensive rating and playing with the 4th slowest pace. So you got two teams playing solid defense lately and playing slow pace. I mean, it's sort of like a recipe for the under here. I know it's a low scoring total, but I think a lot of signs are pointing to the under. The Raptors, they've gone under in 5 straight games now too. And they're playing their 4th road game in 6 days. So there's going to be some fatigue here. In their last 5 games, the Raptors are dead last in points per game at 97.8 points per game. And they're the only team in that time frame averaging less than 100 points per game in the league. And they're allowing the 3rd lowest points per game at 100.6 points per game. So I think like I mentioned, with a low total here, I still would play the under.
And I'm with you 100%. Both teams are good defensive teams, especially Dallas ranking 3rd in the NBA, as you had alluded to. And Dallas is obviously allowing less than 108 points. And there's an angle here where Toronto is now 19-6 to the under in the second half of any season over the last 3 seasons when playing a team that's allowing 108 or fewer points per game. So that definitely is supportive of what we're talking about here with the under bet, and I like it quite a bit. So that's going to take us to the conclusion of the show. We have 3 solid bets. We're looking to rebound from that dismal performance on Monday. But you know what? That's ancient history, and it doesn't matter if we would have been 4-0 or 0-4. It's ancient history and does not impact any of our plays today. So I want to thank Ronald for your time again, as always, and thanks to everyone who's watching the NBA Triple-Double Show. Be sure to subscribe and nail that bell. It takes a second, and then that way you won't miss any of our shows. And we would greatly appreciate that. So, for the Wednesday edition of the Triple Double Show, always remember to bet with your head, not over it, and may all the wins be yours.